2003, February. And I had gone to college, got my diploma, went on the working world for 10 years, and had some success. In 2003, I was still seeking something better, something more opportunity. I don't know what it was. My friend Morale moved, he says, Jimmy had an awakening. And the awakening was I went on to Google and I was looking to network. So I found a networking event, and I go to it, and the next thing you know, I get introduced to my first mentor. His name was Max Haroon. He was a successful internet pioneer, and we really had a great discussion about business life and success. I then asked him if we could sit down and have a coffee and further discuss opportunities. Maybe volunteer for this organization. It was called the Society of Internet Professionals. So I ended up starting that journey with him. I ended up helping with his events, working with them in growing the Society of Internet Professionals through trade shows and other areas, and just opened a lot of doors for me. He gave me opportunities to speak like this for a few minutes, and I still remember my first talk where I had to speak for 2 minutes, and I really was sweating down there. But again, we all started somewhere getting that first step. Then it got even better. In February of the next year, I met another mentor. His name is Terry Godman. He had a flea market, a couple of flea market stores. He ended up selling those stores, and he started his own business. And that's when I met him, through a referral, who I used to work with. And Terry taught me about systems and about business life and success. So through Terry Gagna and Max Haroon, I got double dipped with mentorship. And what happened is the journey began. And there was areas of my life which I had done well, others needed work with, from personality to engaging with people and so forth. So one quick story about Terry, I was giving him accountability messages on a weekly and daily basis. And one message that stuck out for me was I called him one day and was just left him a long message about my day. And at that time I had emotions on my sleeve. I really let them out. Hung up, and the next day I got this message, a short message about thanks for the call, and he says, Jim, you're growing. And hung up, and I was like, that's it? I let out my whole sinew to you, and I'm growing. And at that time, it was very serious. Looking back now, it's, since some people were kind of laughing a little bit, and I understand that, but when it was happening, it wasn't a funny matter at all. But again, I was growing, and the process continued, and Max Haroon allowed me to do more work with SIP and gave opportunities to speak and handle his trade shows that we did all around here in the Toronto area. And I realized with that responsibility, I was growing in different ways. And I ended up writing an article on mentorship for the Toronto Public Library, ended up turning it into an ebook. A number of years later, then I took that and I ended up speaking for Enterprise Toronto. Anybody heard of Enterprise Toronto? So they have events in Toronto. So I ended up leveraging one article and beating up another author who wrote a book, actually. So I knew the power of not just having an article about what your journey was about. And then I wrote other ebooks, and then I turned all the ebooks into a book coming up very soon. And I really realized, wow, mentorship is not just something you go through, but something that becomes a part of you. So how many of you have had mentors come in your life? Anyway. And that's powerful. And now I have new mentors and new leaders. And I've gone to schools and share that. And I've had young students come my way where I've mentored them just for a month or 2 months and seen how they've progressed. The book I've written is called The Power of Attracting Mentors in Business Life and Success. Because if you want that, it is open for you. There's a saying that I want to leave you with about when the student is ready, the teacher appears. How many of you have heard that saying over and over again? It is a very, very powerful statement. So what I want to leave you with is that there's lots of opportunities where you can go out and network and come to events like this and learn, associate. Life is sometimes a very thin thread. Because I made an impression, someone introduced me to Max. Because I made a good impression with someone I used to work with, he says, call Jim. And next thing you know, I'm in front of you sharing that story. And now it becomes even more powerful for me, but I really like sharing. I don't do it that often. I used to do a lot of it when I was many years ago, but when Steve asked me to share, I decided that this would be a good way to really share on a personal side in part of mentorship. So go out, become a learner, associate with people, and if you find someone that you really want to learn from, take them out for lunch. Because the moral of the story is, you take them out for lunch, you never know what will occur for you moving forward. So with that, my name is Jim Pagaimtzis. I'm the founder of 21 Connections and the director of the Public Speaking Association Toronto chapter. Thank you. Yes.